Hi everybody, it's Wolf and Walker here. I'm on my travels again. It's actually my holiday, so it's not raining yet. Today I'm in Huntingdon, Cambridgeshire. So without further ado, put your best foot forward and enjoy the video. Huntingdon is situated on Ermine Street, a Roman road from London to York, where it crosses England's third longest river, the Great Ouse. Godmanchester, just south of the river, was the main settlement, with Huntingdon, which had a villa that overlooked Pothole Meadow. By 1066, it was a royal borough with a mint which issued its own coinage. A royal charter was granted in 1205. By the 13th century, the town was prosperous with about 15 churches, 3 monasteries and 3 hospitals. Following the Black Death of 1348 and the decline of trade on the river, the town's population decreased drastically. Oliver Cromwell, the Lord Protector, was born here and brought up. During the Civil War, it was held by Parliament, and to the detriment of the town, King Charles briefly held it in 1645. The first building we're coming across here is the Town Hall, which was built in 1745. It's been modified many times since. Inside there's 2 early 19th century law courts, a council chamber and a ballroom containing many fine portraits. Here we have the Thinking Soldier War Memorial, sculptured by Kathleen Scott, the widow of Scott of the Antarctic. It was unveiled in 1923 and is considered to be one of the nation's top 100 war memorials. The Falcon Inn. It was reputedly a headquarters for Oliver Cromwell during the Civil War. Wickham House is the first home of the London and County Bank, which became Westminster Bank. Also contained within this square we've got All Saints Church. So, as in all videos, I always go inside the churches, or try to get inside the churches. Let's see what we can accomplish today. I must say it's got lovely grounds. A more up-to-date door, I think. Is that going to be the entrance? It's probably not the entrance, but get in? No, we can't get in. So there's fine buildings in this market square, fine old buildings. That way you can't get round. So this church has obviously had some sort of restoration done to it, but it's really been done well, in keeping with time. I do like my churches. There we've got like a tree for the people in the Ukraine. God bless Ukraine. It's a nice little touch there. So the All Saints Church is on the north side of the square and is one of only 2 surviving medieval churches in the town. All Saints has some Norman stonework, but with a lot of late alterations. Like I said, it contains a font from St John's Church, believed to be that in which Oliver Cromwell was baptised. Members of the Cromwell family are buried in the church. The Victorian organ chamber by Sir G. Gilbert Scott has some excellent carvings. Here's the church from another angle. Fine piece of architecture. As per usual, it's typical Wolf and Walker weather. I'm fighting with it. It'll probably rain, or it's about to rain. If you just see the top there, you can see that's been added on or has been redone. It was quite strong, this church. Quite stout is the word, stout looking. Tucked away just off the market square here is the Market Inn. It's got fine pieces of timber frame on the upper storey. Use your imagination, we'll go back in time. That looks spectacular. I can't believe it's all been built around by modern buildings. Nice they've kept it though. God, but you get a good pint in there. Here we have another, it's like another little courtyard. We've got a seat there dedicated to Oliver Cromwell. I've got a drinking fountain as well. Next along the highway we come across the Commemoration Hall, which was built in 1842 as the Huntingdon Literary and Scientific Institute. The facade which you see on the top is a replica statue of Minerva. The institute had public rooms, library, museum and billiard room, and also a bowling green in Grammar School Walk. It closed in 1954, was renovated and reopened in 1960 as the Commemoration Hall. Just along the high street now we come across Cowper House. An impressive early 18th century front hides a 16th century timber frame interior. A plaque at 29 records the poet William Cowper lived here between 1765 and 67. Note the massive chimney stack, fake gable window and fine doorways. Just across the road from this is the 3 Tons Public House. This was one of 27 public houses in Huntingdon in 1901. Right, everything in Huntingdon is all close together, and all the modern day buildings are built around it. We've just come across St Mary's Church. It's got a Saxon foundation with some Norman work, but was mainly rebuilt in the 13th century. Part of the late 14th century West Tower fell in 1608. It destroyed the north aisle and damaged the nave and south aisle, which were rebuilt in 1608. I think I'm going to have to time it better when I visit these churches. I need like a coffee afternoon. I'm going to have to find out in advance just so I can squeeze my way in. Oh, don't mind putting a bit of money in the old church coffers. There's another old door there. Grass has just been cut. Nice. I love the smell of fresh grass. Or freshly cut grass, should I say. This is a lovely church. So you can see the actual brickwork where it has changed, because obviously, as I mentioned earlier, the tower fell in, but it's been done well. It's been rendered in keeping with the time period. Yeah, as far as Huntingdon goes, it's all like closed in, a bit like Malden. So you've got your original buildings, your church, your town halls, authentic buildings, and everything else that's modern is built so close in. Moving across the road now, this is Castle Hill House, which was built in 1787 and was the home of the Vesey family from 1837 to 1916. There's parts of this actually remind me of Hertford as well. It's got that, it's a good mix of old original buildings and newer buildings, or new additions. It's a good balance. On the edge of the town we reached the Old Bridge Hotel. The hotel bar in the centre was the banking chamber of the private banker F.D. Vesey, whose family lived in the oldest part of the hotel. There we go, folks. Sort of just come across one of my boats with full of flowers. I do manage to find these. The Riverside Mill was built in the mid-19th century by Charles Vesey for use as an oil cake factory. Used as a military clothing depot in the First World War, it became a hosiery mill, operational from 1924 to 1972, and is now luxury apartments. The Huntingdon and Godmanchester Bridge was completed in about 1332 and is a unique monument to the rivalry between the twin towns who built it, with 6 arches each slightly different. 2 of the upstream arches on the Huntingdon end have decoration. The central portion of the bridge is wider than its approaches because the builders failed to agree on correct alignment. The most obvious differences are the cutwaters. Huntingdon's are V-shaped and Godmanchester's are semi-hexagonal. Yeah, it's great to be back in Huntingdon. I used to work here. It's another place that I used to work. I think it's really undersold. I really do. It really undersells itself. There's loads and loads of history, and the architecture's fabulous here. Absolutely fabulous. I'm having a right old day. Really enjoying myself. But yeah, it's great to be back. Great to be back. And it's one of those places that's unique. I love unique places. Places that stand out on their own. Just going for a walk now along the it's called the Great River Ouse, or the Ouse. How would you pronounce it? I don't know. Ouse. Ouse. These are obviously well fed, these swans. He's looking at me, he doesn't want it. You don't want any bread, do you? I can tell. Yeah. It looks like he's more up for a fight, that one. Having said that, I think their nest might be down there, so I'll get out of their way. Moving on to the site of Huntingdon Castle. The great earthworks were built over part of the Saxon town by order of William the Conqueror in 1068. The castle had a stormy career, and after the siege of 1174, King Henry II had the timber walls destroyed. The site remained the seat of honour of the Earls of Huntingdon and had a great hall, chapel, small stone gatehouse and a county gaol. During the 17th century civil wars, the castle was remodelled as an artillery fortification. Later, a windmill stood on the large hill with pine trees. By the 19th century, it was part of a garden, through which a railway link from Godmanchester was cut in 1851. The railway closed to passengers in 1959, and this site is the home to the town's beacon. Some sort of, well, this, I mean, this is not the original wall. It may have been the boundary of the castle that was here. That I don't know, but that's definitely not original. That's brickwork. That's sort of, at the earliest, I'd say Victorian. The old daffs are out. In actual fact, they look like they've been caught by frost. They're what are we on? 8th of April today. It was a frost this morning. It was about 2 degrees. It's a shame. Continue up this hill. This Russian gun was captured by the British forces at Sebastopol during the Crimean War and was presented as a trophy of it. This cannon is a replica. The original one was removed for scrap metal during the Second World War. That's the end of the video, folks. Hope you enjoyed the walk, or the tour as it was, of Huntingdon. Don't forget to follow, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!